Well,
Rachel!
welcome. So good
Hi!
to see you.
You as well. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
Are you ready to be interrogated?
Not at all. So let's do this.
All right, let's do it. Well, thanks for having me in your house,
Yes.
in our place of work. This is exciting. So why don't you tell everyone real quick what Sample Augusta is to you?
Well, Sample Augusta is definitely my passion project and love letter to Augusta, Georgia. I just grew up here. I love it here. I think that there have been so many new developments in the past 4 to 5 years that I'm really excited about. And I wanted to make sure that artists who otherwise like to hide under rocks and pretend that they don't do amazing things have a platform so that people can actually see all of the amazing things they do.
Who are some of your favorite artists right now?
Oh, okay. I love Bipper 9 Conklin. I actually have one of her pieces over here. This is one of several that I've picked up in my meanderings throughout Augusta.
Awesome.
Also have a really nice custom Jacob Bolin piece here.
We love Jacob Bolin. Hi, Jacob.
Yeah. I was kind of going through some personal transformations, and I asked him to do something that kind of spoke to that, and I really love what he came up with. So this is also Jacob Boland here.
Awesome. So is this our record collection?
It is. I kind of got the top shelf favorites, and then some others for sampling and that sort of thing.
Gotcha. So you mentioned, oh, hi, Pee-wee. You mentioned
oh yeah, he's
artists
hiding. Let him get you.
who live under rocks. Are you an artist that lives under a rock? You do make music, right?
Yes. This is my rock that I live that I live in and under. I when I'm not out and about, I'm definitely hiding away in my dungeon.
And so, who are you as a musician?
I am Rah Butter is my stage name, and it's electronic. It's kind of a fusion of electronic music, indie pop, and a little bit of hip hop inspiration in there. And actually working on some new material, so I'm really excited.
Maybe you'll show us something while we're touring around.
Okay, I could probably do that. And I should mention that I have a couple shows coming up. I'll be at Granski's on the 19th for Electronic Night, and then I'll be on the community stage at Arts in the Heart. So.
Okay, and when's Granski happening again?
Next Friday, the 19th. I'll have to double check that.
Okay,
I live by my calendar.
So is this our workstation over here?
This is. So when I'm not upstairs hanging out with yourself and Devin and Amy, I'm kind of hiding away down here and gremlining things on the computer.
Here in your rock. What's your favorite piece of equipment to use down here?
Oh my gosh, that's a really hard question. I'll say right now my two favorite things are my OP1 and my Vermona drum module, and then the M Resonator, which is kind of like an effects processor. It just crunches everything up and makes it sound amazing. Got that from Sean Guess at Digital Halo in Aiken.
Oh, cool. Gifts from him, or you just bought it?
Oh, no, I bought it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about this outfit.
Okay. I'm rocking the Adidas, as I so often do on the stage.
Got these new slides.
Yes. I really love Adidas for a lot of different reasons. I love their collaborations with other designers, and they're a pretty ethical company, so I appreciate that as well, and I've just started having that sporty vibe and stuck with it.
Sporty mom vibes. We love it. Anything else you want to show us down here?
Let's see if there's anything else.
What's the weirdest thing you've eaten this week?
Weirdest thing I've eaten?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Probably what I had for lunch. Just because it's like I went with the mac and cheese vibe, but it was cauliflower. I don't know if any of you guys are into that, but cauliflower is a substitute for pasta. It works sometimes, not all the time, but it was good.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
The Tattooed Chef, they make really good things.
Cool. Do you have any other dinner plans this week?
Not at the moment, but I generally like to spontaneously do things, so we'll see.
Okay, so maybe we'll see you out and about in Augusta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally accidentally hit the record button. And we're back. So yeah, anything else you want to show us down here?
Let's see. Well, I just want to point out one thing. So one of my favorite things to do, I like to schedule in creative, unstructured time. With all the things that I juggle, it's really, really hard for me to have that sort of time because I've always got this running to-do list and all this pressure to get things done. But if I can like set aside maybe an hour of my day or 2 hours in the evening to just sort of not have an objective, one of my favorite things to do is to get old VHS tapes. And right now, as you can see, I'm not getting a lot of unstructured creative timing because I have this up here. But this is one of my favorite things to do is pop a VHS tape in, and I generally love to just watch old 80s flicks. Like one of my favorites is My Demon Lover, which I sampled onto my OP from this little combo unit and kind of turned it into a little musical piece. So I just love to do that. And just see where the creative winds take me because that's something I don't get a lot of in my very like structured prioritizing brain, which always seeks to put things in lists. So
What's your favorite color?
blue.
Blue. Why?
I think it's one of those colors that has a real like serene effect. So I generally am looking for peace and ways to like maintain serenity in this crazy world that we live in. So yeah, blue.
What do you think is the craziest thing about the world right now?
Oh gosh. Um, well, I am kind of keeping up with all of the things happening in California, the wildfires, and I just think that our planet is going through a lot of changes right now. There are a lot of environmental things happening, so there's a lot, but that's one of the things, I guess.
Right. What about the craziest thing in your life right now?
What day is it? Things are always evolving. Right now, it's just trying to juggle two businesses and being an artist and having kids that have their own lives and activities. So I think right now trying to reinterpret myself as a solo artist is probably the craziest thing. Just
Right.
going from being in a band and then now just being a solo act. It's a whole nother approach. So
What was the most transitional artist moment for you this year?
probably making the decision not to do everything for myself. So not doing the mixing, the mastering, doing all the production work. These are things that I know I'm capable of, but I have definitely realized, especially working on previous material, that sometimes it's better to have someone who can give you some objective feedback and that you can work with, because I'm too busy to do it all myself, but also you kind of lose perspective. So deciding to work with Sean Guess over at Digital Halo has really been great.
And so you have 2 kids
Yes.
and 2 businesses.
Yes.
What's
So
your
like
other
4 kids, I guess.
4 kids total. So
Yeah.
the 2 of the 4, the businesses, one being Sample. What is your other business?
The other business is a marketing business that I've had for almost 15 years now, with kind of like an off-site marketing department for a vintage Jeep parts company, and I've been doing that for years and years and years, and it's great. It's a little different than Sample. Sample is it's closer to my heart creatively, so it's nice to have those two things sort of balancing out those worlds.
What's the funkiest project you have coming up between the 2 businesses?
The funkiest project.
Or projects?
I'm really excited about the roundtable. It's going to happen at Stillwater on the 25th. It's going to be open to the public. I think it's really exciting because it will facilitate conversations between different members of the creative community, both leaders in the community and also just people like myself who are musicians also making their way through it in that respect. So I'm excited to see what will happen.
Okay.
From these roundtables.
Cool. What's your favorite drink to get, and what drink will you be having at the roundtable?
Like alcohol?
Sure.
Or non-alcoholic?
Either or.
Okay. Non-alcoholic is definitely a Kavita, the lemon ginger probiotic drink. I'm really down for that.
Okay.
And then, of course, as far as alcoholic goes, I usually just like whiskey with a big ice cube.
Okay. Very classic.
Yeah.
Southern Belle of you.
Or like Four Roses or something.
Four roses. Mm-hmm. Would you ever do Evan Williams?
Probably not.
Okay.
Maybe not. I mean, I would. It would be my first choice.
Can you share us your funniest drunk moment that you can remember?
Oh my gosh. The answer to that is no. Not the funniest, but let me think of another funny time. I don't know. The last time was at a party where I was performing, and I think I got to the point where I needed help taking off my shoes and whatnot. So I don't know if that was a funny moment, but fun times.
Who can vouch for you at that party?
Maybe my sister Mary. She was in town for that. So.
Who's also an amazing artist.
She is. She's a beautiful singer. I didn't grow up with her. I was adopted, so I just have only known her for 8 years. But it's really cool to suddenly discover that you have a sister who's also a musician.
So is she your biological sister?
She is.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I can relate. I was adopted at 9, so.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay,
So, interesting.
very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so boots or heels?
Boots, for sure. Yeah.
What is a fashion statement to you?
What is a fashion statement to me? Like a specific statement, or in general, what is a statement?
Like a fashion statement, like if you're gonna go somewhere, like what do you have to wear that's gonna make a message about what you have on at the event or engagement?
Well, I mean, I really like statement pieces when it matters. I mean, this is my day-to-day, my Adidas uniform, and which gets a little bit of a step up when I perform. I really like the collaborations, so those are always special pieces, like the Ivy Park Adidas line I'm really fond of. But outside of that world, it really just depends. I like to be on the hunt for really specific pieces that are a little bit different. I tend to have, I think, like a European approach, I guess, to my daily wear and to the special pieces that I find.
Heard. Flowers or general plants? Or dead flowers?
I mean, they're all beautiful. I'm definitely more of a plant mama now than I ever used to be. I used to kill plants regularly, but now I've learned that
Murderer.
I've made my peace. I have a specific record it's by Mort Garçon. It's called Plantasia. So if your plants are ever sad, you can just put it on the record player and it will make them happy again. But of course, you can't overlook things like sunlight and water.
Yeah. If you were a plant or a flower, which one would you be?
I would probably be some type of succulent. I don't need a lot of care. I just need enough. And then I'll give
What
me
a
some
beautiful
sun.
statement.
Yeah.
Nighttime or daytime?
Nighttime, because I think that's where the creative stuff happens.
Okay.
For me. Yeah.
What's your most creative atmosphere or setting?
Well, I mean,
With the exception of location.
yeah,
and
you're
rock.
looking at my creative cave in here. So this is kind of it for me. I like lighting. Mood lighting is really important to me. I don't think that you can. Of course, you can be creative in any scenario, but I like for the environment to reflect a sense of coziness and atmosphere.
Gotcha. Muscle cars or trucks?
Muscle cars.
Any specific one?
Sure. Well, it was recently brought to my attention a Porsche Macan, so those are pretty nice.
Oh yeah. Any dream cars on the list? I know we're funding children, so.
Let's see. That's a good question. Well, I will tell you there's one vehicle in particular that I owned previously. I don't think I would go out and seek it out again, but it was my absolute favorite. It was a 93 Mercedes, like the 300Es. So it was just this little boxy thing, and I'm a short person, so it had the older style windshield. It's like, just see everything. Now, it's different. I don't know, the cars are made differently, so I'm like having to get on my phone book and look around.
What do you think about gas prices right now?
Oh man, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, we've been underpaying for gas, in my opinion, for a long time. like just the overall cost of what other people have had to pay, and I don't complain so much about it. But
Gotcha.
then again, I work from home, so I mean, I don't have I don't have the right perspective here.
That's
probably.
fair. That's fair. But when you get in your car and you drive, where are you usually going?
Usually downtown, if anywhere.
And where do you want to go?
Oh, where do I want to go? Well, I will say that I like long drives to anywhere because, well, when I'm alone in the car, because then I can put on my music and just vibe out.
Gotcha. Have you went anywhere recently you want to share?
Yeah, I took a trip back to Santa Fe, and that was amazing. I haven't been there in many years, so it was really wonderful to be in a place again where art is so important and the community is really situated around it. Going up and down Canyon Road to see all the galleries there was fantastic.
Anything inspirational that you'll take away from there that we might see in some of your artistry coming up?
Yes, there was a gallery dedicated to photojournalism, and that was really inspiring because one of the things that I love to do for Sample when I have the chance is to go out and document events, and I like that style of photography that's off the cuff, where you're just kind of capturing little moments. That's one of my favorite things. So going to this gallery of photojournalism was just very inspirational. A lot of recognizable photos, but then also some that I had never seen before that were just really touching.
Amazing. Do you have a favorite camera?
Yeah. Well, would you like to see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, come with me. I have a Sony A3 that we've been using around town, and it takes really beautiful night photos. One of the challenges of photographing musicians in their natural habitats when they're performing is the lighting is always a problem. Lighting.
We need that.
So I found that this camera does a beautiful job in those situations. So welcome to the office. Amy and Devin are in here working away. Let's see.
And who are these guys?
Devin is our
Office interns?
resident graphics gremlin. Oh, I thought you were asking about them. So this is Rat Soup.
Hi, Rat Soup.
He's looking a little wild right now. And this is Mr. Huckleberry.
Hi, Huckleberry.
Our fur babies. So this is one of my current favorites. It's the Sony A7 III, and it's just a beast. Interesting that when we first got into filming our interview series, I wasn't aware that there is, with these cameras, you can only shoot continuously for up to 30 minutes, and then the camera will just turn off on you. So that was an interesting discovery, but still worth using as a film camera. I really love it.
What's your favorite video interview that you've done for Sample?
Oh my gosh,
so far?
I've loved them all. One of the early ones that was my favorite was with Alexandra Reese. She is no longer in Augusta, but she used to be here, and I just found her to be super charming and amazing, and love her work. So
yeah, I personally know her. She is an amazing person and an amazing friend.
Yes.
Yeah, now in Atlanta, jacking up the art industry.
Doing her thing, doing her thing. Well, come with me. I'm gonna make some hot tea.
Okay. What kind of tea do you like?
Usually I go for the lemon ginger variety, but I'm open to all tea types.
Caffeinated or herbal?
Generally herbal. Sometimes I like to make my own tea. There's this yogi tea recipe that I came across at one point, and it involves lots of whole ingredients of things. So I won't make it for you now, but I like to do that when I have the chance.
Is there anything gross you've ever accidentally made as far as drinks or food goes?
Well, there are some gross things that I've tried. I will say, durian is a stinky fruit, And so I went to one of my favorite places in town is Chobamian, the Asian grocery store over there on Washington Road. And they have some interesting things to pick from. Some which are wonderful and some which I would probably not get again. That being one of them. My son went a little crazy with it and tried to, the smell was so potent that he tried to distill it down into a room freshener spray, which did the opposite of that. It was really awful.
Oh, man.
I had to confiscate it.
Oh, man.
So, they're not all great, but.
So what is your, favorite go-to restaurant on the weekends in Augusta?
Well, Whiskey Bar is always kind of like a great constant. I also love Sawasity on Washington Road. Really, really wonderful Thai food. In fact, there are a lot of recipes that I'd like to learn how to make myself. I love to cook. That is something that I do when I have the time. Don't usually have the time, but when I do, I love to do that.
What's the next meal you're going to cook?
Probably a bulgogi.
A bulgogi. Oh, yummy. Chicken, beef?
You want to come over?
Yeah.
All right, let me grab a teapot
party.
to disappear in my pantry.
So what is this mask here?
I actually got that from the Riverfront Antique Mall, which is now no longer in business, and I miss it so much. I don't know if anybody else out there misses it as much as I do, but it was just a wonderful antique emporium where you could go and discover all sorts of things. So
this is also very antiqual.
Yes, it is. I found this at an antique store, and the first time, I'm thinking cast iron. This is great. I can use this on my stove. Well, I didn't think about the enamel in the middle. So I almost destroyed it the first time I used it. And then I realized you're just supposed to pour the tea in.
Gotcha.
The hot water in.
Well, I can't wait for our tea. So I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about tea, but it means a little something different when I say, give me the tea.
What does it mean?
It means, give me the gossip. So if I tell you to give me the tea, what are you going to say?
I'm going to give you the gossip.
And what's the gossip of the day?
Oh, the gossip of the day. I try to stay out of the gossip, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe you would know more than I would. You tell me what the gossip is of the day.
I might. I wish I had a camera to follow everyone around all the time. I would definitely have some gossip then.
You would.
Well, what is, what's the most melodramatic or awkward thing you can share with us that's happened recently?
Melodramatic or awkward? I don't know. That's a hard one. I try to stay so even keeled.
Well, we're human. I'll let you come back to it.
Okay.
So I notice you always have these earrings on, and I love them so much. I personally love gold. Where did you get these?
These, I think I got them from a place in North Augusta, just one of those stores down there. Maybe it was Ross or something, but I just really love them, and I don't ever take them out.
Are you gold or silver?
Gold. Used to be silver, but it's been gold for a while now.
Heard. Okay. And do you have a favorite jewelry designer?
I will say I don't have a favorite jewelry designer per se, but locally, I do have a favorite jeweler. Does that count?
Yeah. Who's that?
So Joel Conti over at Crown Jewelers and I guess over there off of Highland Avenue. Just a wonderful human being and a great person to work with. So if you need jewelry, that's the place to go.
If you were a piece of jewelry, what would you be?
I would probably be these little hoops here. Essential.
Oh, there they are.
Daily wear,
Essential daily
keeping
wear.
it real, right?
Do you have any tattoos or piercings that we don't know about?
I don't. I have 0 tattoos. I've thought on many occasions about getting one. And in fact, I don't know, you may not know about Blue Horse Music Hall because it's a venue that used to exist downtown, no longer there. I don't even remember the band that was playing, but there was a performer there who kind of inspired me. And when I do get a tattoo, I think it will be something in this area, maybe. But he had this butterfly tattoo that just spanned his wrist, and it was so beautiful. He was a guitar player, and I thought, that was a really beautiful tattoo. I might do that one day. And when I do, I think it will be a bird, because someone used to call me in my early days of singing a songbird.
Aww.
And then another friend of mine sent a story over to me one time, and there was just a really poignant line that was, there are other worlds in which to sing. And I just think,
wow,
that's a beautiful thought. I do believe there are other worlds in which to sing. So when I do get a tattoo, that will probably be what it will be.
I love that. How do you feel about me getting a tramp stamp of Sample Augusta?
I would say I'm flattered, but you might want to reevaluate the decision. I want to be there when you get it. That's what I'd say.
Okay. I'll book the appointment.
Okay.
Tattoo artist wanted. What's your relationship like with the tattoo shops in Augusta?
I don't know anyone particularly well personally, but I know of the Ambu Art Collective. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Ambu.
And I've seen some of their, examples of their work, and it seems to be really nice. I know that there's someone on staff that, the old Japanese woodblock style.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean that's my go-to favorite when considering tattoo styles. But I don't remember his name, but there is someone down there that does a really beautiful job with that.
So, Songbird, is there a line from one of your songs that's a favorite you'll sing for us?
From one of my songs. Good question. Okay, now you've got me thinking.
And the spotlight's on you.
Oh, God. Oh, you really have put me on the spot. I'm such an introvert. Well, I have some songs that I'm going to be singing coming up, but there's one that I really love that I haven't developed yet, but I like the song, so I'll try and remember it for you on the spot.
We're waiting.
Okay. Things are changing. Things are changing. Things are changing. Things. And I'll let the rest be a surprise.
Wow, beautiful. So have you always, I know you went to school for music. Were you, sorry, I'll put the spotlight
Are you
out.
going to take the interrogator light off?
Yeah, the interrogator light is off. But did you always practice voice, or did you have a voice coach?
I actually, up until going to school, getting a music production degree from Berkeley, I never went to school for music. I just always sang. It was always something I loved to do. In college, I just kind of linked up with people who played and ended up being in and out of groups there, and have done that kind of since then. I actually went and got my degree because it was the only thing on my bucket list. Someone asked me, what's on your bucket list? And that was all I could think of. So I thought, well, man, I better just do this. So,
right.
So because I had never been to school for music, but I loved it so much, I think it was a passion that I truly discovered later in my life. And at this point, I've fully come to terms with it, that it's definitely a passion of mine. And voice-wise, I've really kind of taught myself. I recently took a few classes, but it's mostly been self-taught.
Okay, and so you haven't had any voice coaches before?
No voice coaches. I've in middle school I could play the flute, so I could play the flute, and I took piano.
Okay.
I had some piano lessons. So I mean, the music has always kind of found its way in and out of my life, but vocally, I'd never really had any instruction growing up.
Gotcha. So, speaking of degrees and graduations, did you have a graduation party?
No, I didn't. I kind of graduated at a weird time in my own life, And I am not one to make a big production out of things that I accomplish. I also don't like volunteer information about what I'm doing. My mother and my kids are always chiding me for not telling them what's going on. What's going on. I just don't really make a big fuss about it. Maybe I should.
If you could have one big party celebrating graduation or something else, what would it be? Where would it be?
It would probably just be a small gathering of close friends and creatives. That's sort of my favorite thing.
But if you could have one celebrity there.
Oh, Little Dragon.
Little Dragon.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
one.
She's one of my favorite artists. She's amazing.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Would you say they're an inspiration for any of your music?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. So speaking of celebrations, can you tell us when your birthday is?
July 8th.
July 8th.
So it has just passed.
It has just passed. Oh, that's right. And you were in Texas for your birthday, weren't
Well, I was
you?
in New
I'm
York,
sorry.
in Santa Fe.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
Santa
I was
Fe.
in Santa Fe.
I was in Texas. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have a big birthday, if you could have, if you could have a big to-do concert, who would your lineup be?
Oh, like locally?
Locally?
Or just in general?
Locally. Let's do locally and in general.
Okay. Oh man, locally, there are a lot of people I can think of, and this will not include everyone. So, my apologies to the people I don't include, but there are so many. I recently have been hearing more of Vexagon's music, and he's going to be at the electronic night coming up at Grantski's, so that I would say Vexagon. I've been hearing a lot about Low Moves, and we've featured them in our newsletter this week. I know there are a couple of groups in town who are really kind of making waves and doing some really cool things. So Low Moves, Forest Ghost is always great. Gosh, so many. It's hard to pick. I know I recently talked to Mike Bell. He's sort of reinventing Nomad into a band that's more, almost pay more tribute to the 90s. So I'm kind of excited to see what that's going to look like. I've heard great things about Funk You. Ryan Abel is always an amazing performer with his various groups that he puts together. And Roanoke.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing lineup. I'd love to see that show. So many different musicians involved in that.
Yes. And then outside of that, for just in general, I mean, you can't go wrong with Run the Jewels, Little Dragon, Phanogram, Aesop Rock. Oh man, a lot of. Also, is it Jade? Hold on, I'm gonna get the name wrong. There's an artist that I've recently become more aware of. It's J.D. and Domi Beck, maybe? I'm saying this wrong.
What's on the top of your music playlist right now? What are you listening to on repeat?
Right now, you know, it revolves. I like to keep on top of my new releases on Spotify, so I'm always kind of seeing what my favorite artists are putting out. But I have these. I curate my playlist by year, so I have like a different playlist on Spotify for every year. So sometimes like I'm in a 2016, 2017 mood. Sometimes I'm in a 2022 mood. It just depends.
Gotcha. If you could be any instrument, what would you be?
Well, I think a voice.
A voice.
But then closely followed by keys, because there is no end to the synthesizer love that I have for synthesizers.
Amazing. And I mean, I know we saw some things downstairs, but did you have a favorite set of keys?
Right now, I'm really into the Juno 60.
The Juno 60.
It's not an everyday use kind of thing, but it's such a special instrument. And then after that, my OP1.
Gotcha.
Those teenagers knew what they were engineering.
Oh yeah. Actually, there's some really good bands out right now that, I mean, amazing how they've gotten their hands on some of this equipment. Like Low Moves uses a Juno.
Oh, do they?
During their sets.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Very
Olivia
cool.
LeDun is their keyboardist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're doing it right then.
Is there any artists from Augusta you're looking to collaborate with?
Well, like I said, Vexicon, and we kind of have got one thing that we're working on right now. I'm just contributing something to it, but I really like his aesthetic. I like the 80s callbacks, those vibes. I see great things for him in the future. So yeah, I'd say Vexicon.
Amazing. Can you tell me more about this upcoming record of yours?
Yes, I can. What do you want to know?
Well, first of all, you are an independent artist. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tangent, but do you have a favorite distributor that you use?
Well, I work with TuneCore, which they recently changed. It used to be that they charged $10 per song to release. Now there's an annual fee, which I think is great for artists. They're making some good moves on their service. So, I mean, you pay like an annual fee and then you can put out as many tracks as you want. So I think that's really great, especially for, the independent musician.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So back to the record. What can you tell us? How many tracks are we to expect? What's the vibe?
Well, I have enough for a full album, but I'm kind of waffling back and forth between doing a full album or an EP, like a longer EP, like a 5 to 7 song EP. And I'm working with Sean over at Digital Halo. We're just kind of tagging, sending tracks back and forth, and I really like being involved at that level on the production. He's just really great to work with, and excited about getting some new music out before the end of the year.
Do you have a title?
Things are changing.
Things are changing. And when can we expect it?
I'm hoping before the end of the year. And I may,
Gotcha.
It may be, yeah, before the end of the year. Let's just put that deadline out there. Make me do it.
So Sample should be starting to plan a release party, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. If there was a little Rachel out there somewhere, what do you want her to know?
Like a young me?
Yeah.
Like a little me? I would tell her that everything is going to be okay. Be true to yourself. Find the things that make you happy, that bring you joy. Make sure the 5 people closest to you have your best interest in mind. Manage your time well. Don't try to do it all. And find time to just celebrate and enjoy life.
Amazing. Hopefully she hears that wherever she is,
Yes.
little Rachel.
Yes.
What would you say are your biggest love languages?
Acts of service, for
Okay.
sure. Words of affirmation, I think, are important. I grew up an only child, so spending quality time is not necessarily the most important thing on that list, but it's in there, Yeah, I think those are the biggest ones.
Heard. So our tea's done. What kind of tea are we having?
This is a turmeric spice, so
Turmeric.
went the healthy route. Would you like a cup?
Sure. Yeah, I'll have a cup.
And would you like a cup?
Yeah.
Patient
Let's make a cup
viewers.
for our viewers.
All right,
Oh, we're keeping it consistent. I love these cups.
this is for you.
Thank you.
All of you out there, especially all of you creatives, remember, at the end of the day, it's about the moment.
Do you have a favorite cup?
A favorite cup?
Yeah.
Yes, I do actually. So this is my Spirited Away cup.
Oh, that's
I love
cute.
all of the films that Miyazaki puts out. Spirited Away was
Yes.
one of the bigger ones that I think, people, it really resonated. But yeah, it's my favorite. My daughter convinced me to get this because I was eyeballing it every time I went into Barnes & Noble, and she was just like, just get it, Mom.
What do you want everyone to know about Sample?
That we are advocates, that we want to be a resource, that we want to help. We're here to partner with anyone that has a goal that is in line with our goal, which is strengthening the creative community here. and just that, you know, want to put out good vibes for you and for everyone.
Thank you for sharing that. Speaking of, we have to get back to work. So let's cheers.
Cheers.
And thank you so much for
Absolutely.
taking the time to do this with me.
Thank you for interrogating me.
More to come.